Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We're going to be talking about Caramel Sundays, Acorn Avenue. I have a feeling a lot of you guys are going to be very curious about this one because there's been a lot of hype around this candle. Now, this Sunday, it is returning August 23rd, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you're signed up for those early access text alerts. I do believe that this fragrance is only going to be available in this 2-wick format. I know that for sure. This will retail for $34. That does include the cost of shipping. We all know Caramel Sundays is a small business that prides themselves on making 100% non-toxic candles. These are soy wax, REACH compliant, none of the scary ingredients in there that a lot of us, I feel like, who shop with the brand are trying to avoid in our home products. All right, check out the website, you guys, if this is available in wax melts or anything else. I know for sure it's available in this 2-wick, but I'm not for certain on the other items. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance notes here, because if you've been paying attention, you already kind of have an idea of what this fragrance might smell like. The top notes are listed as autumn leaves, mid notes of cinnamon, base note of crisp apples. So, like a lot of ambassadors have been saying who have already gotten their hands on this one, or truthfully, you guys, this fragrance is also a returning scent. Caramel Sundays did have this candle last year, so this is not completely new to the Caramel Sundays lineup. But for people who have been familiar with home fragrance for a long time, this is Caramel Sundays version of Acorn Lane from Bath and Body Works. Now, I was actually really hesitant to pick up this candle because I personally don't really like Acorn Lane. I think I've concluded, it's funny, there will be fragrances at Bath and Body Works that I'm like, I don't like that. And then I get Caramel Sundays version of it and I'm like, oh, I love that, right? Like their version of leaves is autumn leaves with Caramel Sundays. I absolutely love that fragrance, which, by the way, I think that there are still some left over in stock from the July restock, and those will be on the website this Sunday. It looks like when I last looked at the website, it looks like those were loaded back into the offerings. So I really like that fragrance. But I don't like leaves at Bath and Body Works. Their apple note is a little bit too fermented. Something smells a little bit too sharp and astringent. And I've actually had that experience with Acorn Lane. I remembered smelling that last year. And I think what I've concluded is that I don't always love Bath and Body Works cinnamon note. I feel like it's a little bit too sharp for me. And that's coming from somebody who likes spice fragrances. I like spice. But again, I think a lot of that is it's breaking it down here, you guys, to a difference in the quality of oils that are being used, as well as a different wax formula. 100% soy wax is different than a soy para blend. Fragrances are going to smell different in there. They're going to react differently, particularly when you take a flame to them. And then again, you have the quality of the oils that are being used. Bath and Body Works, I know for a fact, are not, they don't really care if they're, to be honest, they don't really care if their stuff is toxic. Which, that's all open for debate. I'm not like trying to scare anybody into anything. But essentially, what I'm trying to get at is that they are basically, they're in it for the bottom dollar, right? They are just probably of a different mindset, I would say, than a small business. So I do think that is reflected in what I am smelling, right? A very synthetic oil compared to something else. So that's my little soapbox there. Getting back to what I am smelling with this candle, you guys, this is a very pretty, almost, it gives me like Christmas vibes to my nose. And I am shocked that, this note is not listed in here. This comes across very much like a chestnut fragrance to me. Now, I think it's the way that these fragrance notes just kind of blend together. The autumn leaves accord that I'm picking up in this is actually really similar, I feel like, to the autumn leaves and cinnamon blend that I get in Hawkins Autumn, which we all know this is a completely different fragrance. Hawkins Autumn is a very coffee forward fragrance that the coffee just blends beautifully with the leaves and the spice note. And I feel like what I'm getting in here is the same autumn leaves and spice that I'm getting in Hawkins Autumn. Now, this is specifically saying cinnamon. Again, you guys, the cinnamon and the leaves in here, just it's the combination of these is just coming across almost like chestnut to me. This is very much, to my nose, a fragrance that after I film this review, I'm going to put this candle away and probably not break it out again until November. This is a scent that I would pair with a tree fragrance. Like I said, it pairs really beautifully with autumn leaves if you want to try that out. I haven't tried it with Hawkins Autumn. I feel like that might be a little bit too much because Hawkins Autumn is such a powerhouse. Um, but yeah, and it's funny because don't be the other thing that I will say is that the crisp apple note on the bottom here, I'm getting a very different apple note than what I typically know from crisp apple fragrance note with caramel sundaes. That crisp apple note with caramel sundaes is usually dominant in their crisp country apple. It's really noticeable in their oat orchard, the nutty nightmare. That's not really the same apple note that I'm getting here. There's a little bit of creaminess to this, but again, not like a gourmand. So I don't know, maybe that's the crisp apple that I'm getting here. But I think I'm kind of going overboard here. What I do want to say is that if you are hesitant about this because you don't like Bath and Body Works Acorn Lane, like maybe you like the idea of it, but there's something about that one that doesn't hit your nose, right? Give this one a chance because I'm going to tell you, I don't like Acorn Lane at Bath and Body Works, but I absolutely love this candle. I have actually begged for this one to make a return in the next month's restock in a 4-wick. We'll see if that comes to fruition, but I really, really like this fragrance. This is one, again, that I could see myself burning during the holidays. Now, we're going to talk about the performance of the candle. You can see that I'm at about a third of the way through, maybe about a quarter to a third of the way through on the burn on this one. And this is one that has taken me on quite a ride, you guys, with the performance. Now, I have already let Sierra know what's going on here. So first burn on this candle, you guys, I did actually burn it out here in my open concept. I think I burned this one out here, and then I was burning bones in my bedroom. Now, here's the thing. First burn on this candle, it actually did pretty good out in the open concept. I would say it was probably about a 7 for me. And I thought, okay, great, you know. But yesterday, I lit this candle up alongside with leaves. Now, I do have autumn leaves, I should clarify. I do have autumn leaves in a 4-wick. So I put that out in my living room and I put this in my bedroom. And I kept going in there and I was like, why am I not smelling this candle? It was so strong for me, you know, on the first burn. And I was like, what is going on here? And one of the things I noticed, and you guys know I burn my candles in hurricanes, the wax pool, it wasn't having a hard time pooling out. I just felt like it was taking a long time trying to get deep. You know, like you're looking at this candle right now, and I've got a really deep wax pool on it, but I've also had this candle lit for almost 5 hours now. So it has a really deep wax pool on it. But I am going to tell you guys what I have noticed yesterday and today. And I, again, don't know if it's because I find usually in this weird little window right here on a lot of candles, it's not just caramel sundaes, sometimes I hit these like dead zones where it's almost like I get no fragrance at all until the wax pool gets really, really deep. And that's what I was running into. Yesterday, this candle did not really start throwing for me until I had been burning it for almost 3.5 hours. And I ran into that same issue today. So therefore, I was burning these in bedrooms, and that was burning them in closed concept bedrooms. So you guys know I'm a Caramel Sundaes brand ambassador. I love the brand. I honestly spend a lot of money with them. Like truly, they get the bulk of my candle budget this year, I should say. They get a lot of money from me. But I am also going to be very, very honest with you guys when I'm sharing, like, hey, I'm noticing these performance issues. I'm not sure if it's that this candle needs more time to cure. It is already past the 14-day mark. But we all know, you know, certain fragrance oils maybe sometimes just need a little bit more time to strengthen. And maybe that's going to be the case. I'm going to be very curious to see how this one performs for me when I break it back out again in November. But I will tell you guys, these last 2 burns, like seriously, the first 3 hours of these last 2 burns, I told Sierra, I was like, strength and throw on this is like a 3. Like I can only smell it if I get really, really close to it. But then you guys, I'm going to tell you, I hit after that 3.5 hour mark, and then I can walk into the room and it's filling up the room beautifully. But it was once it got to this like really deep wax pool. When the wax pool was like half of this, I couldn't smell it at all. So it's really, really strange, you guys, because I didn't have that experience on the first burn. I only had that on the experience yesterday and today. So again, I don't know if I hit a weird pocket. The other thing that I noticed too was when it was at that, like, again, not the super deep wax pool, you can see the wicks now are a lot like more vibrant. I think I'm going to include in here, I did take a little bit of B-roll because I was trying to send, I thankfully have a good enough relationship with Sierra that, I will send her stuff and be like, hey, this is what's going on. So I will send you the video that I took to show her what was going on when my wax pool was not as deep. And I'll show you, like, you'll see on there, the wicks, while there's nothing wrong with them, they're not puny, they're not, no issues at all with them when you're looking at them, but you can tell that they're not burning as hot as, say, the wicks are right now when you're looking at this. So I don't know really what was going on. I don't know if the oils were kind of maybe bogging down the wicks at that point. I don't know. I don't know all of the candle science, but wanted to let you guys know that I did pass that information on to Sierra. I will say at this moment, now that I'm burning, like that this candle is at this point right now, this is about a 6 for me in terms of strength and throw. So again, we're getting back to what it was when I initially burned it. But I did want to let you guys know about that. I am still going to give 2 thumbs up to this candle because my suspicion is that it was just a weird little pocket. We run into those on occasion, particularly with soy wax. It's such a quirky wax formula, you guys. I love it. I love its clean burn, and so therefore I put up with it. But just know that sometimes you're going to hit those pockets, and maybe when you do, it just means that you got to let the candle burn a little bit longer, burn it in a hurricane, which I was doing. But yeah, I will tell you that I also have run into that issue with bones. The last 2 burns as well. First burn was pretty good, and then the 2 successive burns after that, I had to wait for it to really, really get going to start throwing. So just be aware of that, you guys. Kind of giving you guys a little bit of an update. But the other reason why I'm still going to give this 2 thumbs is because my suspicion is that a lot of you guys, when you get your nose on this, if you are a seasonal burner, most of you guys are probably not going to burn this till probably, I could imagine, like late October, early November. For those of you even who are very excited to set up your Christmas decor early, because to my nose, this is very much a Christmas scent. So again, like, or even I would just say like a holiday transitional type of fragrance, right? It's going to be beautiful November through, Christmas time. So those are my very, very honest thoughts with you guys. I do want to be very clear with you guys. I feel like this one just ranges in terms of the performance. And sometimes that's our experience with soy wax candles, but I've come to accept that that's the trade-off. I'm okay with it. Again, I can smell it right now. I can smell it very well right now, and I could smell it really well on the first burn, but it did hit it had some rough patches, right? Don't we all in life, right? So maybe we should give it a little bit of grace, but wanted to let you guys know about that. Be aware. As for me, you guys, this is most definitely going to be a repurchase for me. Particularly, I am going to say I want this in a 4-wick. I am coming with the pitchfork saying, I want this in a 4-wick. I want it in a 4-wick. So hopefully they might abide by that. Not abide by that. That sounds terrible. Like I'm pressuring people, but hopefully they'll get the message. I think they have, that a lot of people want to see this in a 4-wick in the next restock, which will be either late September or early October. So feel free to comment down below if you want to see this one in a 4-wick, if you've already had experience with it, if you want it in a 4-wick. Chime in down below so that way Caramel Sundays can see that and maybe give them that extra little shove to go ahead and put it in a 4-wick. All right, you guys, that's a lengthy enough review. Again, let me know if you have had experience with this candle in the past. Let me know what you think. Feel free to hit the thumbs up button if you found this review helpful. I will link my Caramel Sundays playlist here at the end of the video so that way you guys can access all of the candles that I have reviewed from Caramel Sundays. You guys, there's a lot of candles that are going to be in this upcoming restock that not only am I reviewing the candles that I recently got, but there's quite a few that I reviewed in 2025 that will give you an idea of what to expect from the fragrance. So feel free to check that out. All right, you guys, I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.